Hello beautiful people, welcome to today's video. So in this video, I'm going to be creating my budget for the month of August. These pages come out of a undated budget planner that came out, I believe sometime either earlier this year or last year. And it is, like I said, undated. I've already put the sticker to indicate what month this is for on both sides of the tabs. And I am going to, at the end of the video, go through and decorate this, write all the numbers in and put some stickers down and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned to the end if you would like to see that. But I'm actually going to start with just getting right into the numbers. So the first thing I like to do is I like to close out my July budget. And what I mean by that is I like to basically see what I have left over in my debit envelopes and in my sinking funds. So this is an example of a blank debit envelope page, but this is my page from last month. And basically I have my categories here and the starting amount for the month. And then these are just the transactions that happen throughout the month. And what I like to do is say, okay, this is how much I started with. And then right here is how much I ended with. So I just kind of went through and subtracted what I spent so I could see how much I had left. And what I had left was $588.89. So what I like to do with that amount is I like to carry it forward into the next month. So this will be a carryover balance. I also do budget in whole dollars. So I won't be, doing the 89 cents or anything like that. And I won't even be doing the whole 588. I just kind of pick a number that's kind of close to it that I like, that looks nice and neat. So I decided this month that I'm going to carry over $550. So the remaining amount is just going to stay in my account as, fluff. And that is that. So that is one thing that I do to close out my budget for July. And then the next thing I do is I go through my sinking funds, and pretty much I have all three of these filled out at the beginning of the month. And then I like to put in what is left over at the very end of the month. So this is what I have left over at the very end of the month of July. So I started out in total with $9,825 in my sinking funds, and now I have $8,852 left in my sinking funds, okay? And that amount doesn't carry over, but that gives me a good idea of what I have in each of my funds, so I know how much I want to add out of my paycheck in the budget for the upcoming month. Okay, so let's just jump right in and get started with writing some numbers down. I believe this layout is a little bit different. Last month was the first month that I used this type of layout, and I can tell you that I don't think I'm quite amused by it. I don't know if it was working for me, but I purchased a 12-month undated planner, so we're gonna make it work. Okay, so let's start by putting, this is for the month of August. Okay, and so I don't budget my whole paycheck. I pick an amount, right? And so the amount that I use is kind of similar to what I used to make. And so, years ago, but I think it's still a pretty nice number. And then anything that's kind of above that just goes into a separate account. So I choose and have been choosing to budget $5,405. And this is monthly. I get paid monthly. So I handle all my bills at the very beginning of the month. And then whatever is left over is what I use to fluff out my sinking funds and what I use to expense for my debit envelope. So all of these numbers are on a monthly basis. So also remember I said I'm going to be carrying forward the amount that was left over from my debit envelopes. So I've chosen to carry forward $550. Sorry, I almost forgot. And then I also have a flexible spending account for dependent care. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it is kind of like tax-free dollars. So you tell your employer how much you want for them to deduct from your paycheck every month. And then when depending on how your insurance company works, once you have spent your money for that month, you submit a claim and they will reimburse you that amount. So pretty much it's like, yeah, I spend, for instance, $100 a week on daycare, but I can get the $100 per week tax-free by doing an FSA claim. And that's just really a very, very high level idea of what that is. But I kind of was slacking on it, and I didn't do a claim for a couple of months. So I finally decided to do it, and I had $832 that was reimbursed to me from that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start writing out my bills. I'm gonna be quiet while I do that. I think most of my bills will be self-explanatory. So let's just go ahead and get to writing. Okay, y'all, so these are my expenses. I might have to do a little bit of changing or finagling, but I need to continue the rest of my budget before I can see that. And if I do some changing or finagling, it will be to the debt snowball area because that really is just a plug number. So my intention is that when I have paid these things, that I'm going to do a check mark. So I've paid already these three things, this right here as well. I believe that is all I have paid. And then when I see it, because you can make a payment and it not really be reflected in your account yet. So my intention is that when I see it reflected in my account, I'm going to highlight it. So I'm just going to use my midliner and highlight the ones that I have seen be reflected in my account. And I'm going to highlight the amount. And I've seen this too. All right. So I believe I'm just kind of looking through this. The only thing that I haven't seen reflected out of my account yet that is not automatic are the stuff for the kids. Everything else should be automatic except for this credit card payment, which I need to get rid of this credit card. I'm not even gonna get on my soapbox about that. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill out my debit envelope page and put in the amounts that I plan for this month. All right, y'all, so my categories have stayed the same for this month. I am considering putting together the groceries in the household for next month because, I don't know, generally I purchase all of that at one time. So it will kind of be easier to be able to do just one complete entry instead of having to break it out. So I'll make that decision when the next month comes. So for groceries, I am going to budget $700, and I'm putting the dollars and the cents because this is the one area, this is the only area where I budget down to the penny. Okay, so it starts off in whole dollars, but as I go and I do my transactions, as I'm subtracting down to the penny. Whereas in, say, my sinking funds, I just round to the nearest dollar. So $2.75 for restaurants, gas $450, toiletries we're gonna do 100, beauty we're going to do $225, kids stuff $250, household $150, and then entertainment we'll do 100. All right, so we'll add all of that up. And that is $22.50. And because I like to be extra careful, I like to add it again just to be sure I got it right, and I did. All right, so $22.50 for my debit envelopes. And now we're gonna go on to sinking funds. So I have two separate pages for sinking funds. The last few months, I have not been using the second page completely, but you know, that's neither here nor there. So I'm gonna put August. Do you see that? I'm about to write August 2002. Lord, I'm about to put myself back in high school. Fun times, but you know, it's something about once you pass the age of 30, you just like appreciate yourself and who you are more, and you don't really worry about what people think about you like you used to when you were a teenager. So that's like the great thing about getting older, and that's why I would not go back. Even though back then I ain't had no bills. Oof. And I didn't have to budget. Okay, neither here nor there. So the difference between these two pages is this is meant to give me a full overview for the month. So I will put my fund name here. I will put my leftover balance. So this will be my balance as of July 31st, the very last day of the previous month. I'm gonna put the amount that I intend to add for this month. And then that I'm gonna put what my new balance would be with having my leftover balance plus what I'm adding. And those will be what will be filled out. And then this will be blank. This is the month end balance. So this will be filled out August 30th, the last day of the month. Okay, the intention for this page is for me to be able to see week to week to week how much I'm spending in each of my categories. So you'll notice each of these say balance, and what I will do is I will write the date of the Monday after a weekend, because the weekend is when I tend to spend the most money. I know. So the first day is today, Monday, but I'm not going to do a balance for that because that essentially is my new balance, right? I haven't had the opportunity to really spend money. So the first day that I plan to for the month of August look at my balance would be August 8th. So the August 8th balance. The next would be the 15th. The next day is the 22nd. And then August 29th. And there are only 30 days in August, so there's a high probability that I may not fill this last one out because it's so close to the end of the month anyway. Why do I keep saying there are 31 days in August? I'm looking at a calendar right in front of me and I keep saying there are only 30 days. There are 31 days in August. So like I was saying, I probably will not do this last one because that's so close to the end of the month. Anywho, the next thing I'm gonna do is just put my fund's name on both of these pages. Okay, my hand hurts. So I have filled out my fund's name for each of these. On the one that is my week-to-week balance, right here I'm gonna put total, and then I'm gonna put delta. And that will allow me to see, okay, what my total was in comparison, what my total was for this week. We'll use this as an example. This week in comparison to this week, subtract it, and then I have my delta, so I can see how much I spent between the 8th and the 15th, and how much I spent between the 15th and the 22nd. That's the idea, okay? So this is a completed sheet for now, and I just have to fill in this sheet. So let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna go fill all these three out as I go, right? So for car maintenance, look at my little cheat sheet on the side. For car maintenance, my leftover balance was $725. And I am opting to add $100. I will be needing to get my oil changed pretty soon. So I'm kind of fluffing a little bit for that, because this account really is intended for the purchasing of tires, which I really don't know how much that's going to be. I do have an SUV, and I just want to have more than enough for that. So I'm just kind of putting a little bit of money in there. And then for house maintenance, I had $503 left over. I'm gonna put 72 in there so I can have a nice odd number of 575. Okay, HOA gets the same amount every month, just 20 bucks, and that brings me up to 170. Travel, I ended with 3,300, and I'm going to add 200 so I can make it a nice even 3,500. Okay, this fund was intended to save money for when we do take our daughters to Disney World, which is not for a couple of years. We are taking some family trips in between, so I am also using this fund to fund those family trips. Okay, so kids' clothes, I left over with $635, and I'm gonna add $265, and that'll bring me up to $900. My clothes, I ended with 408 bucks. I'm gonna add 192 bucks because I do know that I need to purchase a couple of things. My general amount that I add is 75 bucks per month, but I'm gonna fluff it a little bit more in anticipation of needing to add some pieces to my wardrobe. So Mad Money, I ended with 1021. And I'm going to add 250, and this is generally how much I add every month. I think for 4 weeks, having $250 to spend on whatever is pretty reasonable. So that's gonna leave me with $1,271. And last month I told myself I was not gonna buy any planner items, any happy planner items. When I do, it mostly comes from this Mad Money account. I did really well. I did not purchase not one thing Happy Planner related in July. So that leaves me wide open for August. So that's awesome. I'm very proud of myself for that. In fact, I don't plan to partake in anything until they do another release. So miscellaneous, I had 60 left over. I generally like to have 125. So I'm gonna add $65 to get back up to that amount. And I've had 125 consistently for the last like 5 or 6 months. But then my yearly subscription for my security on my laptop happened, and I forgot that was gonna happen. So just to account for that in my budget, I took it out of miscellaneous. So medical, I have 800 left over, and I'm gonna add $125. We have some appointments coming up. My daughter will probably be getting glasses. I have a doctor's appointment, so yeah, I'll be using that fund. And then for gifts, I have $1,000, and I'm gonna add $250. That'll bring it to $1,250. So I have a lot coming up at the end of the year. my husband's birthday, my mom's birthday. Our anniversary is actually at the end of this month, and then my daughter's birthday, Christmas. So there's a lot going on at the end of the year, so I'm just trying to fluff it while I can. And then for family photos, $250, and I'm gonna add 25. And this is just for when we're ready to take, you know, updated family photos. The holiday time is coming up. This is also where I take money from if we have a particular outfit color that we want to wear and I want to purchase outfits. It will come out of that fund as well. All right, so let me add up. Actually, I think I've already added this up from the previous month. This is my leftover balance, and I had, I'm put total right here. I had $8,852 left over. Okay, all of this I believe equals $1,564. Let me just do a double check. Okay, and then that will bring my new balance to $10,416. That is actually the first time that I have gone over $10,000 in my sinking fund. So that's really great. It's pretty awesome. All right, so that is it, you guys. I believe, let's see. Try to put my pages back together. Yes, that is it for my budget. Now I'm going to just kind of decorate my pages. Right here, I'm going to fill in the numbers. I'm going to put some stickers down. What I generally put on these pages is stickers to indicate when my automatic payments are going to be coming out. So, you know, thank you so much for watching this video. Please consider hitting the subscribe button. I do post videos weekly on decorating my catch-all planner. I do budget planning videos as well as faith planning videos, and I would love to have you join me for those videos. I will see you all in my next video, and stay tuned if you want to see me decorate my monthly layout for my budget planner. Bye.